Hey, welcome back, Blade Gang. Guess what? OG Blade Reviews has a new chop on the block. Chop on the block? Yeah, North Mountain Blade Chop, which is how they refer to many of their folder series and even fixed blade series. I've been dealing with their wares for well over a year now, and I'm still confused. Their catalog is a bit in disarray and lacks some consistency. That's my one minor complaint about the company. The rest is all stellar. It is, they make some fantastic, precise, solid folders and fixed blades, and you've probably, if you're watching my channel, seen a number of their Tanto fixed blades. Well, let's see what's in the box today. This is what you get. They do a lot with packaging. Yes, they do. And we usually get extra hardware. In this case, we get a plate in the event you want to remove the clip. I'll show you in a minute. And that covers up what's left when you remove that. We've got their knives inside here. Is that a sticker? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Anyway, lots of goodies, and they also give you a knife maintenance kit, which I don't have handy, that has oil, and there's a lanyard, all kinds of stuff. So they definitely give you plenty for the money, bang for the buck. And look at it, what we've got here. This is a $140 knife on their website, 140 bucks. You know, it looks like basically $300 knife. So I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. You can get up there with them. By the way, nice little hermetically sealed Pelican style case. You get a lot of bang for your buck on many of their knives, and other knives, they're going to be up there. Some of the higher end stuff in the way of folders is going to be around 400, you know, 380 at least. But what we've got here is something new that they've come out with, a few of these in different handle materials, and it's their 45 caliber disc opener. And so this is meant to look like a cartridge head for a 45. I guess so. Might be stretching it a little bit, but yeah, you know. I mean, there's your primer there in the middle and so forth. It's nicely jimped around the edges. And they're doing a lot with the whole brass treatment here, because we've got a brass end spacer, back spacer, if you want to call it a back spacer. Really nice little dimple there on this side of the pivot, T8 on the other side. And you can use either the disc or the jimped back flipper. There it is. That's becoming pretty regular to us, pretty familiar is what I wanted to say. In terms of their blades, we have a Tanto style blade, hollow ground and flat ground, swedge on the top. A lot of people will tell you that's not traditional, and they're probably right, but they put the swedge there anyway. Kind of a carryover from the Kaiken, and you know, I've looked into that too, and it seems like that's more of a modern thing, and that the traditional Kaikens may or may not have had that swedge at the top, which is kind of a release that allows, you know, easier penetration for stabbies. They did a great job with the carbon fiber here. It is solid carbon fiber handles. I almost wouldn't call them scales, but they are, because inside, and I'll have to get my light out to show you this, while sitting down and doing this, hard to get into the pocket for things. There we go. So there is your, there we go, lightning holes in the inner steel frame, but that steel frame just runs down the center of these carbon fiber scales, and is enough to give the knife some further rigidity and attach things to your pivot and so forth. It's really nicely done, and it's comfortable in the hand, and the carbon fiber makes it very lightweight, and I think they reduced the weight even further by minimizing the inner frame and skeletonizing it on top of that. There is your button. It is a plunge lock style button, and they do a great job with about 45% lock up there, and that's pretty good for button locks. A lot of times they'll just catch the very edge of the tang. And also, notice I'm pushing. It's a little wobbly, but it won't close. So you've got to be very definite. And that makes it maybe a little less fidgety than you'd like. Some of you fidget knife guys that sit there, flick, click, 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 watching television or playing your games, whatever. I like it because it's some added security. Many people will not use button locks in hard to use situations because they are afraid of accidentally pressing it with a finger or something and having the knife close on you. You've got a little added safety here in that when it begins to close, in this grip anyway, your forefinger stops the flipper tab or the guard from having the knife close. It is on bearings. Clip is definitely not low ride, deep carry. It's probably roughly 3/4 of an inch at best into the pocket, but a lot of people like that. The screws here stand proud of the clip and the handle, but at the same time, you know, there is the problem on deep carry clips where you grab it to pull it out of your pocket and you're pressing the clip against the fabric of your pants and tugging on it, trying to get it out of your pocket quick, and you can't. So if you can grab this and leave the clip alone, it's going to come out much more easily. And I'd say it's a good amount of pressure there. We've got a smooth surface underneath, so this slides in and out of the pocket with the right amount of tension. Got a laser etched North Mountain logo on the clip. The clip itself, I think, is steel. Yeah, clip is steel. And we've got really just that one screw holding the, well, these probably go in. Yeah, I would say these probably anchor down into the brass here. These two pocket clip screws, but one body screw on the tail end there. And so the appointments of the knife are really nice. That's a brass surround for the button. That is a brass, as far as I know. I don't think it's just an anode. Yeah, it's not drawing the magnet, so I'm guessing that it is solid brass. And then we've got the brass around there, and we got the brass here. They use something in some of their knives called aluminum brass or brass aluminum. I initially thought that it was a brass anodized aluminum, but then when I found that they had sent me this knife for review, it was very heavy. So I'm going to show that one to you today. I figured out that no, it's really brass. It's not aluminum mainly. Okay, so again, you do have that fidget factor if you press the tip of your thumb in there. And again, I'm saying that's a good thing because if I just push it like that and get that flush, it's still locked up with a little bit of looseness. So it's got to go that far down to disengage. And once again, I think that's nice. Pretty thick blade. Let's get some measurements on it. Here's the trusty old ruler. Let's do it like this. Zero it out at the pommel, and it's an 8-inch overall knife with a 3.5-inch blade. That seems to be pretty standard for a lot of their knives. And if we go to millimeters, I should say centimeters, we're at 20 centimeters with a blade of 9 centimeters. As far as thicknesses go, I'm going to set it millimeters, so let's try this. 3.4, 3.5, that's what I thought. 3.5 millimeters, and across the handle at the widest point, 13.8 millimeters. Going back to inches, kind of hard to grab it right there, 0.13, so you can see it. And 0.54, a little wider than half an inch, but nicely contoured, as I like to say. Doesn't always matter that the handle is a little wide. It's a matter of how does it feel in the hand and the pocket, for that matter. We got grams up, so let's do grams for the weight. 116.42, and straight over to ounces. 4 ounces and 4.11 ounces. Nice, very nice. And at this point, I'm going to bring out that one I was telling you about, another button lock chop. That's the one that is in brass aluminum. It's some sort of an alloy. Hadn't heard of it before they mentioned it or started making the knives out at North Mountain. There's ounces, so this was a little over 4, right? 6.8, almost 7 ounces. That's the difference that handle makes. God. So if you like a really nice, solid paperweight, this is the one for you. Again, they sent me this one, and I thank them for passing it along for review. You notice we've got very similar, if not identical, handle profile. This one's fragged out, only on one side. Very similar pocket clip setup. They seem to be consistent with that. Button, about the same. I would say this button is a bit improved from the button on this guy, although hard to say. Got a little more lockup, I think, on this one. We might have a little more blade thickness. Forgive me for getting a little too, 0.13. And what do we say this one was? Yeah, same. They look just, this one looked a little thicker. And the blades are ground identical, and with the SLD Magic Sanmai being a sandwiched steel. There you can see the core down the middle. That core, they're saying, is, I think, 61 HRC, but at least 60. I'm pretty sure it's 61 HRC. Here's one they call the Jellyfish. This is a 4th generation variant of the Jellyfish. Again, their names are all over the place. A little shorter than the button lock chop. Let's see. Yeah, a little shorter by half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch overall. So we've got a shorter handle here for sure. The blade's only slightly shorter. So what do we got? Did a review on this one. So everything you see on the table here today, I've already reviewed. So check the channel if you're more interested. Yeah, it's like a 7.6 inch overall. And that blade is, if you measure it back to the cutting edge, it's 3.5 inches. But it's like somewhere between 3 1/4, 3.5 if you measure out to that point. Okay. It's a beautiful knife as well. This also solid carbon fiber. I had wanted to get one in fat carbon, but it was right ahead of Blade Show, and they had brought that down to Blade Show for sale, and I didn't get to grab it. But this is quite nice. titanium clip on this guy. Yep. Anode titanium, kind of a brass or bronze anode titanium. They got the brass surround on this one as well. And they've got the titanium backspacer. Yep, titanium backspacer and titanium liners. So it is a exposed liner that's adding to the expense of this one as well. It is an exposed liner, but it's all titanium. So you're paying a bit more for this than 140 for that. I think this is up around like 280-ish, something like that. You got both the thumb studs, which are titanium, pretty sure. And you've got the flipper tab, nicely gemmed. So that's the Jellyfish 4th generation. And let's bring out, just for a compare, the old standard here, Griptilian, Benchmade Griptilian, Axis lock. Yep. And you can see that the Griptilian's about the same size. Yeah, same size exactly. Bigger than this guy, and should be same as this guy, because the length here and the length here are the same. All right. Well, one thing I haven't done is a paper cut. Beautiful light knife though. At 4 ounces, you can definitely feel it's nice and light for the size. Let's see if they gave us for an edge on this SLD Magic. Haven't checked it yet, but that first one was nice. Oh, yeah. Beautiful edge, beautiful edge, and that has usually been the case. Can't say all the time. That has usually been the case with North Mountain. Let's put these other guys away. Quite a variety of blades if you go out there. I'll make sure you got their North Mountain link, as well as the link to this particular one. These just dropped a few weeks ago, so you're going to see this in a few other handle materials as well. Some are really bright. But there you have the 45 cal disc opening button lock chop by North Mountain blade. And right over here, check to see my logo. Click on it to subscribe. That's all I'm going to say. Hope you'll do that if you haven't already. And take care and stay safe.